Alright, let's be real, making music is fun. It's creative, it's exciting when things click, it is one of the best feelings ever. But it can also be really frustrating. And not in the, I don't know, music theory way or my 808s don't clap or whatever it is. It is more like everything that comes with it. And today I want to talk about that because if you've ever felt intimidated, unmotivated, or just straight up confused by the endless advice on YouTube, you're not alone. Before we get into it, I just want to say that I'm planning to take YouTube seriously. I've been making music for a while now, and I finally reached a point where I'm actually happy with the music I make. And instead of scrolling hours on Instagram or TikTok, I just like to share things that I'm interested in or that inspire me. So instead of focusing on mixing and mastering tips, which don't get me wrong are important obviously, mixing and mastering is not gonna fix your music, so I would just like to share some of my creative process and it might be interesting for you as well. Number one, I called feeling intimidated by better producers. We've all been there. You open up Instagram or YouTube and some 15-year-old in his bedroom is making like the craziest track you've ever heard, or you see some insane studio setup with racks and gear and think, how am I even supposed to compete with this? But here's the thing, you're not competing. Music isn't a race, everyone starts somewhere. The crazy producer, they were probably trash a few years ago. And that person with that expensive setup, they still have to sit down and actually make music, just like you do. Instead of feeling intimidated, use it as a motivation. If they can do it, so can you. First part I kept kinda short because I feel like it's kinda obvious when you think about it. But with the second part, finding motivation to keep going is probably the hardest part for everyone. And now speaking of motivation, this is another huge challenge. Some days you sit down to make music and nothing, no ideas. No ideas, no energy. You end up watching a how to get inspired video instead of actually making music. But the secret is you don't need inspiration all the time because that's just not possible. What you need is momentum. It's just like going to the gym, brushing your teeth, whatever. Just show up and do it. And I absolutely know that that is easier said than done. Even if you don't feel inspired, open your door and do something. More often than not, ideas will start to flow once you stop waiting for the perfect moment. Let's assume you tend to work a lot in Serum, Massive or whatever. Use the random instrument that you maybe bought on your holiday when you were 12 with your parents, just as an example. Maybe throw an arpeggiator on it. Saturate it hard. Modulate the form and you get what I mean. Playing around with things and using stuff that you would usually not use is just always an awesome way to get new ideas and new inspiration. The best part, the more you do this, the easier it gets, because at the end of the day, practice makes perfect. You get better by doing it over and over again. Third part I would like to mention is the YouTube advice nightmare, that's how I called it. YouTube is amazing for learning music production, but it is also a mess. You will find one person saying never use presets, another one saying presets are fine, just tweak them. This whole thing is just not black and white. Most DAWs come with awesome stock plugins that are absolutely usable, but maybe the workflow of some third-party thing is making you quicker and come up with ideas better or whatever. And of course there's always someone pushing a course, a preset pack or some game-changing mixing technique that you absolutely need. Here's what I've learned. Take all advice with a grain of salt. What works for someone's track might not work for your track. The best way to improve is just not by watching a lot of videos on how to make music, but actually making music, which kinda leads back to the second point, but I just wanted to say it. It is no question that there are awesome third-party tools that are worth their money in my opinion, but with buying all of these stuff, it's kinda like with a small kid, like you buy them all of the toys and they don't even know what to play with at some point. So finding the stuff that you actually find helpful for your music making is not really easy. And it can also hurt your creative flow, as I mentioned with the example with the small kid and the toys. Fourth point I called being surrounded by the wrong people. I'm just really sure you've been in that situation where you showed some friend a song of yours or something you made. And in my experience, people tend to react in three main ways. First way being they don't really care. You get the classic, yeah, it's cool, with zero enthusiasm. Second one is they tell you it's amazing, but mostly because they like you, not necessarily because of the music. And third, in very rare cases, you get actual honest feedback. And honest feedback from friends is awesome. But what's even better is getting feedback from people who are genuinely into music. What I'm trying to say is you need to surround yourself with people who actually value music. I know it's not always easy to find a creative bubble like that. Places like Reddit, Discord, or local producer meetups can be great ways to connect with people who actually get it. And when you find those people, it makes a huge difference. Just talking about some artist you maybe discovered last week with someone who actually knows what you're talking about is just so helpful and inspiring. Just having someone who actually knows what you're talking about is so insanely helpful. It can spark ideas and it usually makes your track better. I'm not saying you should give up on the creative part of your music, but it's just so helpful. At the end of the day, making music is hard, but not because of the technical stuff that gets easier with practice. The real challenge is pushing past doubt, staying consistent, but if you love making music, none of that can stop you. It's supposed to be fun. So if this video helped, drop a like, maybe subscribe. Most importantly, go make something. I'm planning to do more videos like this on YouTube. I kinda dislike TikTok, even though I will still post on it. But YouTube is just a cooler platform, I think. What I forgot to say is that I will put links to cool YouTube channels concerning music in the description. Maybe they can help get us some inspiration, whatever. I will also link my latest song if someone's interested. I'm doing like Frenchy inspired electronic music. Yeah, and that's it for today. Thanks for watching so much, and I will see you.